I'm Davie.
I'm Misty.
DM Watts.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? I am Davie.
I'm Misty.
And we are DM Watts. So, guys, welcome. Took a little 2-day hiatus. I wasn't feeling very well.
Welcome back, Davie.
Yeah. Thank you,
It
guys.
was a scary and
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous.
There wasn't no Rona involved, but
No,
thank goodness,
it wasn't Rona. It was some other stuff.
I was not feeling very well, but I am back. But as usual, it is called DM Watts for a reason. So we can't be M Watts and we can't be D Watts.
No.
So
it doesn't work. You get 2 minutes out of me.
But as you guys saw, there's a reason why I am only half of the magnificence, because for those 2 days I was down, my wife put together a bunch of things that made me laugh. And I hope you guys enjoyed them, because I certainly enjoyed.
We did our first best of.
We did our first best.
And then you hear my little mouse voice going, the best of DM Watts. And he's like, he comes out of the bedroom. He's like, why do you sound like a mouse?
But she was enjoying it. You know what I mean? She was enjoying it.
But I'm trying to make it deeper.
I thought that you did awesome.
Thank you, baby.
I thought that you did awesome. So, but no, hey, welcome to another episode. You guys, without any further, you know the deal. DMWatchPodcast@gmail.com. You guys can find us at all the streaming services, as my lovely wife would like to point out: Facebook, Twitter, all the other good ones. And as always, Doge, AMC. Look, we ain't gave up yet, but we also want to say that we are part of the Sheba Army. As you guys watching us on YouTube can see, my lovely wife drew a little Sheba on there, but we are part of that Sheba Army.
And as I said, the Sheba will get better.
It'll get better
as the Sheba go up.
You guys make sure you get on that Sheba swap, crypto.com, whatever it is. You're going to get it at KuCoin, whatever.
We also have stickers now.
Oh yeah.
So DM Watts podcast on Redbubble. We are on Redbubble. Redbubble.com.
Moving on up in the world. That's what it's about.
So we have stickers now, which means, of course, contests are soon to come. So there's 2 stickers and there will be more. But,
true. We we're pretty happy about stickers.
We'll be sending them out to our
happy
loyal listeners. So if you would like a sticker, you know what you got to do.
Stay tuned.
And DM Watts podcast at gmail.com. Let us know your fishbowl topics so we can get you into the bowl.
Absolutely.
Back in the bowl.
Back in the bowl.
Back in the bowl.
And I don't know if did I say, hey, like, subscribe, the whole thing. You guys know that if you're watching us on YouTube or anything like that,
and
make sure you guys like, subscribe.
Any streaming service that you're a part of, you can share us,
and you can comment on there. So, but yeah, so I'm feeling better. And without further ado, since I'm feeling better, it clearly is my time for the lovely fishbowl.
That's what
it is. Time for the fishbowl. And I am going to, if you guys can hear it today. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and pull out today's fishbowl topic.
It's all on you, my love.
Boom. Edumacation.
Ooh.
That's what today's fishbowl topic is.
Good one.
No, do I put it up here? The camera's up there.
That's
Education. Education. So that's what it's about. So education,
not education. Education.
I mean, they get it. Education.
I was just making sure they were educated.
Well, I mean, whatever.
My standard cough. My cough only comes on when I start recording.
Yeah, it's all good. But so education, right? So let's think about it right now. There are a lot of things going on in this world right now, right? And if you guys have been paying attention to a lot of things that we've gone backwards again, to where no longer are people really looking for those with degrees. They're looking for people with skills. Yeah,
we've hit that. It's like I want to say it's like every 15 to 20 years that we go through this thing where it's like, no, you have to have a degree. No, you have to have a trade. No, you have to have a degree. So we're back in the trade right now.
Right. And we're back in the trade. And the thing,
because schools are overpricing themselves. Yep. We actually will speak on this because we have experience in this, because not only are we students, but well, you just got your master's. I must say, my man has his master's.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Boom.
Appreciate this. Insert clapping here. So I get.
No. But he has his master's,
and she's working toward her bachelor's. Don't let her fool you.
Towards my bachelor's.
Yep.
But I was priced out of a school. I had some stuff happen because of a school. And then our sons.
Yeah.
we just had some issues happen at a school.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, we're not hover parents. We're not helicopter parents.
No.
None of that. This is a legit, you're taking our money.
Yeah.
And you're not teaching them anything.
Truth.
And you're taking money from a benefit that my man worked for 22 years so that he could give to the kids, and they've got nothing to show for it.
Truth.
And are pretty pissed off about it. Truth. And so are we.
Right. So true story. If I can just add a little bit to this.
Please.
So true story. You know, most kids nowadays, whether they're, you know, we say kids but young adults, right? But we still consider our kids to be young adults,
emerging adulthood,
right? Even though they're 19 and early 20s, you know, this world is a lot different from when we grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? The world before that we grew up, right? The world before we grew up
completely different.
At 18, our parents could be like, deuces. And we would eventually,
I was out at 18. You were out at 18.
Right. You would find your way. Nowadays, it's not like that. You throw your kid out at 18. It's scary out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that being said, you know, hey, our kids are like, look, I'm like, hey, we have this Chapter 35 benefit for you guys. You can go to school. And they both wanted to be mechanics.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, cool. So we're not going to put the school on blast here, or which school we're talking about, but I'm sure some people can relate.
And maybe one day I will.
Yeah, maybe one day we will.
If we
can't fix the issue, we definitely putting y'all on blast. But anyway, moving on, you know, our kids was like, hey, we want to sign up for this school has this auto mechanic trade.
Yeah.
We're like, cool. They both want to be auto mechanics. And one went for the associate's degree and one went just for, hey, let's get the certificate. So we're like, cool. So like the first week, they're like ecstatic. You know, they get in there. Oh my God.
They were like beating each other home.
Oh, like, yeah, to tell us about it. We're going to tell them like, hey, they got this and this. I'm like, oh, we're like, cool. They're going to love it. You know, then the next week they're like, hey, you know, we haven't really done anything just yet. We were like, hey, give it time. Y'all just started. And it was like, okay, but the classes are only 4 weeks. So we're like, well, okay, well, maybe. Right. So we're like, well, maybe it's the first class, wait it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. The class gets done. They're like, hey, we didn't really learn anything in that class. Okay, bring on the next class. You're probably going to learn something. Next class, they're like, we're not learning anything. The teacher takes attendance and sits down and says, look in your books. Now, mind you, this is for an auto mechanic class. Auto mechanics let me go ahead and rephrase, not a class, it's for a trade school, meaning you're supposed to be in there busting your butt, learning the actual trade. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to insert this. It is also it is a trade school, but it is a famous university.
Right.
That has taken on the trade school.
Right.
Part of it.
That's right. Because it used to be just a trade school and they absorbed it.
Right. This is attached to a well-known university.
Right. And so, you know, they start telling us and then we're like, wait a minute, that's not
the credibility was there.
Right. And so they start telling us. So we started getting upset, like, wait a dang a minute. What we're paying for? So we schedule a meeting with the dean and our kids. Like, hey, no, y'all need to explain this. And we schedule a meeting with the dean. It's like, oh, okay, so y'all not. They're like, no, we don't do anything. The guys take attendance and then sits down and tell us to look in the workbook. This is for a class on cars, where they have cars set up, you know, on the stands or whatever, the whole nine, where they should be breaking down engines and stuff like that. All that. None of that's happening. So the dean's like, all right, well, I'm gonna say something to him. The dean's like, you know, finally she goes and says something. We're like, okay, yeah, things about to change.
Yep.
Nope, nothing changes. To the part where one of our kids like, I don't want to go here anymore. Like they literally are teaching us nothing. They were like, and so we sat them down and said, look, if we went into this class and we didn't know anything about cars, they told us, they said, you still wouldn't know anything about cars. They said, we know the same thing that we went in, that we knew going in, and we're done. So they both like, we don't want to be in this class anymore. So literally they both was like, no, we don't want to go to the school anymore. Yeah. So they both was like, dropped it. And
which was very hard for us.
Very hard for us because it took a lot.
These two of our five, two were the not hardest to convince about school.
Yeah.
But it was about, no, you can do this and learn a skill and do that, whatever you want to do, let's do that.
Yeah.
And that's what upset me, because they both had a hard time in high school. They both had a hard time throughout their schooling.
And so this was important to them.
And it was important for us to let them know, no, college is different.
College is different. And they did see that part.
College, whatever
they did see that part, that college is different. So
thank God.
To make a long story short, neither one of them go to this school anymore.
Nope.
And one of them have found a welding academy.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna tell you, shout out to
Heartland Welding Academy.
Heartland Welding Academy. Where this is in Wichita, Kansas. We're gonna put it out there. These people
look them up.
are freaking amazing. Heartland Welding.
Look them up.
Let me tell you, the website itself tells you, look, you weld on day one. 90% of your time is spent in the class. Look, we went and did a tour with these people, and this guy is showing us all. I don't even like welding. I was like, can I join?
It was 110 that day.
Yeah, and I was fine.
Work done. I wasn't okay, but it was great. That's how great this school is. I got excited.
Yeah,
the
we
people
were
that
ecstatic.
own this school are amazing.
Yeah.
Their teachers' literal salary depends on whether the kid is getting it or not.
If the kids is not doing well in the class, they do it like the old days. Like, hey, what is the teacher doing?
Yeah.
Like, we gonna know if the kid is not doing his best, his or her best.
Right.
But they're gonna look at the teacher
not
like,
getting it, or young adult, whatever. Then they don't learn that way. You need to figure
so
out
you need
how
to figure out a way to learn. And they've worked with special needs folks, and they I'm telling you, like, look, if you're in the Wichita area and your child wants to weld, Heartland Welding Academy, the guy there, and it's owned by a husband and wife couple. They are amazing, to say the least. And they take GI Bill, they take Chapter 35. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a 6-month course. They do a 3-month and a 6-month course
of
and
all of the
five weldings. Look, we say 5, and I'm sure there's more weldings, but a lot of common weldings. Yeah, and we don't know what it is. All we know that it was great.
But I want to say this, wrapping up this story,
wrapping that up, yeah,
on this part of education.
Just spit it out.
Don't let, I know, I gotta find my words.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on?
Education, gotta find my words. Don't let people tell you if a class is good for you or not, just because they're the counselor of the school, or just because they're the teacher or the dean. You know what's right, especially when it comes to your kids.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, then you need to look at, no, your kid might not be, sometimes they are being lazy. Other times you got to put the accountability on the school, on the teacher. There was a lot wrong, and we're still working on it. And that's why we're not putting out the name.
Right. And so we will say this, look, when it comes down to it, as I told the
I'm still upset
people
about
at Heartland Welding Academy, my son don't need a speech class to weld. And the lady told me,
or a placement test,
or a placement test
or
to get
an
into welding. Because believe it or not, we had tried 5 different schools before we found them. And everybody needs a placement test or an English test.
But that goes back to what I was saying. Every 15 to 20 years, we're back in trade.
Right.
Do not come at me wanting to know my English score. If I'm trying to learn carpentry, don't,
because I think the aptitude test,
because carpentry English centers around cuss words.
And this woman knows. She did construction for 8 years.
I've even made some up.
Yeah, she's did construction for 8 years.
So unless you want my English score on cuss words,
yeah, my woman knows. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now. So but not only that, right? So when you think back and you look at things, look at the billionaires right now. Elon Musk has said it himself. Elon Musk said, I could give 2 craps what your score is.
Yeah.
I don't give
what your degree is.
I don't give a crap what your degree is in.
Tell me what you can do.
Tell me what you can show me what you can do. Don't come to me with I got a 4. I graduated magna cum laude, summa cum laude. I don't care. I don't care. Like, if you graduated magna and summa cum laude, congratulations.
Sure.
But if you can't do this program versus this guy that's been doing this program
for 20
you know what
years.
I'm saying? He ain't got the schooling you got. Why would I want you? I don't care.
But we're not, okay, so this is not a for or against education. This is a for or against advocating for yourself or your kid or whoever you're attached to, your spouse, that is going to school and not being taken advantage of. Learn what you need to learn. We have to have an education, but you've also got to know what is in your ability, what you want to do.
But don't get it twisted. When we say education is not just degree based.
Nope.
Trade school is education also.
Yes.
Trade school, and honestly,
not only that, but then there is life.
That's true.
Life experience is an education. And here's something you can't teach: street smarts.
Boom.
You can't.
And common sense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't teach street smarts. And there are things that are invaluable that you have, that anybody can have. That is an education amongst itself. It's a unique experience, like everything. And you just got to make sure you're getting the right one. You're not getting taken advantage of.
Right. And when it comes down, I think when it comes down to it is that, listen to your kids, because we've switched it around to where we no longer blame the teachers. You know what I mean? A lot of time we blame the kids, but it's not to say that the kids aren't screwing up sometimes too.
They have a hand in it.
Right. But know your kids. That comes with knowing your kids, know yourself, because it's not just the kids too. You know what I'm saying? You're never too old to go back to school. Let's go ahead and say that now. I'm 41 and I just got my master's degree a year ago. So hey, go figure.
But when was the first time you went back to school? How old were you? When you started your associates?
Well, you got to understand too, at least in the Air Force, the Air Force has its own community college. So going through basic training counts as college credits. Before I actually went, because I joined the Air Force in '98, and when I decided, screw this, I want to go back to school, it was like 2004 or something like that. So that would be
22.
Yeah, I guess it was 22.
So you started your associates when you were 22.
Right.
Now let's just remind everybody how many associates you have.
Okay, 3, so it took me 04 to 07, and then I graduated in 07, and I said, I'm gonna take a break, because that's another thing about education, right?
Oh, you got to take a break though.
You got to take a break.
Do, but then that break can be extended.
That break and sometimes that break can be a crutch.
Really,
and sometimes that break can be your kryptonite. I said I'm gonna take a break in 07. I went back to school in 2019. Yeah. So I took a break in 07. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back. And I go back for my master's, I'm saying, here in a little while.
But I didn't go back to school until I was 40.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about, though.
That's what we're saying, though. I that's a long time.
That's how old I was when you think about it. Well, 39, I guess.
Whatever. Anyways, but you already had an associate's and stuff. You already had college under you. I didn't. And so that was really scary for me, and everything was online, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. How was I going to pay for it?
Yeah.
But it was really important for me, for my 16-year-old, 17-year-old to see that, your time at school has sucked and public education was not good for him. But I wanted him to see, no, you can go back. You can change stuff. You can rewrite the story.
Right. The thing is that there are so many government programs too out there.
Oh my
God.
a
lot of people, we hear this talk about, college should be free for this. And we hear a lot of, and if you think about it, it really is free. A lot of it just takes some work. Scholarships, they take some work.
Yeah.
You can go to a library, any public library, and get a book on scholarships.
They're not going to do that. Yeah. Go online.
You can go online.
There are apps for you. There are websites for you. You plug in your demographic, your name, your age, all that stuff.
Scholarships.com.
And it'll be like, hey, read about this one, or hey, look at this one.
Yep.
There's a lot of scholarships out there. But there's also now Google has its own free education on certain programs. STEM. It's all about science and technology and computers, and they're doing their own free school. There's Allison. There's what's the other one that I was doing actually in my 30s?
Maybe I don't know.
There was one, and it's like you can take a course from Harvard. You can take a course from Stanford.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but they came out and they it was free. Coursera.
Coursera.
And Coursera, they came out with something during the pandemic, was like, hey, our courses are free. You have to pay for it. You can take the course for free, but then you pay for the test.
But I think the biggest thing about education is never stop learning. You are never going to know everything, ever. It's just the way the world is set up.
But don't stop trying to figure things out.
You have to be a forever student.
Right.
You've got to just go. And then maybe that thing you find will light that spark to get that degree or to get that trade.
Yeah.
Or to get that job. And, you know, we're here for a reason, and education helps us get there.
That's true. And but that's the thing, you know, it's like, guys, don't automatically think, oh, I don't have anything to get me to. There's a lot. I can guarantee you can Google scholarships or you can literally, because you know Google is so advanced now, you can put how to go to school for free, and they probably got plenty of different links out there for you. You know,
well, like I said, Google is
bringing
up their own school.
Yeah, and so there was a guy out that taught himself, what was it, physics?
Yeah,
physics on YouTube.
He's insane.
He taught himself physics, and now works in some laboratory or something doing real big things. Google him, like Google the guy and be like, hey, who taught himself physics through YouTube? And I guarantee you his name is on there. He just took YouTube videos and taught himself how to be a physicist.
Yeah, it's true.
And he is now a physicist.
Yeah.
So there is so many avenues out there to just be sitting around talking about nobody's helping me. Well, there's sometimes where you got to take that first step yourself too.
Well,
to start bettering yourself.
And there are a lot of people, you know, that think education isn't for them, but you're learning every day.
You're learning every day.
When you meet someone new, you're learning about them, or you're talking to them, and then maybe they enlighten you on something.
Yeah.
Everything you see, everything you do every day, you're learning. Why not take that a step further and just broaden that mind, open that mind, because that's the only way we're honest to God going to defeat any problems we have right now is by educating. And I don't care if it's from Yale or Princeton. I don't care where your education is coming from. If it's coming from walking in the forest that day and learning about that mushroom, or learning about, you know, that piece of trash in the ocean. I don't care. Educate yourself so that we can have a better world. That's all it comes down to.
Because here's a fun fact. Nobody cares anymore whether you went to Harvard.
No.
Fun fact.
Ivy League in the 80s, that was a thing. Like I was like,
nobody
I'm going
cares
to Ivy League school.
If you went to Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Those, they don't hold the weight that they used to anymore.
And I'm going to tell you this. It doesn't matter if you are a highly educated artist.
Nope.
It's not going to matter.
Because I can tell you right now.
Because that's not what controls the art world.
I can tell you right now. Let me tell you who they're not going to hire. Right now, people are not looking to hire that person that got 12 and 13 and 14 years of school under their belt. They're looking for
unless you're a doctor.
Unless you're a doctor or something like that. They're looking for that 20 to 25-year-old who literally has experienced it. If I was hiring an artist, I don't want to hire somebody who went to art school at the academy or blah, 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 blah. No, I want this 20-something-year-old, look at what he's been doing since he was a child.
Yeah.
Since he was a child, and his stuff is better than this person that went through this art institute. Okay, now I want him or her, and I can mold them into what we want for this company.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So Elon said it best. Like he said, I'm gonna repeat this. I don't care what school you went to. I don't care what degree you have.
Yeah.
What I care about is, can you do this job? That's what I care about is, can you do this job? You understand what I'm saying? And that I don't care about. It's the same thing when the Air Force, when I had to go through the Air Force. I don't care what grades you got where you were in training. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As when I'm being a firefighter, can you pull me out of this building? That's what I care about.
Right.
You know
can you save a life? Can you
save a life? Can you do CPR correctly?
Can you back me up? Can you drive that? Can you? Yeah. And seriously, that is.
Yeah. And that's what it boils down to. So, you know, but hey, those are the things that we talk about with education, right? So it's a big thing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it takes some work, as with everything in life.
It does. But again, I'm going to go back to the very beginning.
Of course.
Don't get taken advantage of.
True.
School is becoming, again, a greed thing.
A for-profit company.
If you look at FAFSA, and now you can't even get the damn Pell Grant without applying for the loans too.
Yep.
And the loans are not by the government. They're by private holders.
And it used to be.
Getting money taken away.
It used to be when you applied for FAFSA, it says, do you want to apply for grants and loan or just grants? And you had a choice. and everybody clearly would be like, no, I just want grants. I don't want a loan. Now you can put grants and they're going to give you loans too. You're going to get applications for loans.
And yes. And people need to be aware of that. It's privatized. It sounds like it's government, but it's not. It's privatized. This is not a conspiracy theory. Yeah. Look it up. Apply for one. You'll see what I'm talking about. The other thing I am going to say, and you might wince. I don't know. We'll see.
Go ahead.
I don't agree with how the GI Bill is set up.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to say this is because you were given, of course, you had a GI Bill. You were able to go to school and you're allowed to allocate that out to your family.
Yeah.
Which I love. That's awesome. But there should be a GI Bill for those that serve.
Mm-hmm.
And then there should be one for family while you're serving.
Mm.
And then the Chapter 35, because we're still talking about we're talking about 1% of the country. You're telling me that we can't give 1% of the country and their families separate ways, because my thing is I feel like it's a disservice to you that you were able to burn through it, and that it not be a regenerative thing that happens throughout your life.
Yep.
That if you decide, no, you know what, I need more schooling, because that's what happens. You find the career field, but then they always up the career field.
Yeah.
And now you can't go back for your PhD.
Yep.
Because you
Did you guys know, like in the military, the military will not pay for you after a master's degree. PhD, that's on you. You're on your own. We don't care.
I don't think that's fair. Yeah, that's not fair.
And even then, if you go back for a bachelor's, the second bachelor's, they're like, well, that's not on us. The TA won't pay that. You have to use the GI Bill.
And I don't agree with that. You are a select few that decided to do something for us that none of us, 99% of us said, no, we're not doing it.
But that's the thing, there's a lot of gaps in that.
Education should be open to you.
Yeah. And I don't believe in the whole, 36 months? It's 36 months.
36 months.
If you sign most of the time, if you sign up, when you sign up for the military, it's a minimum of 4 years.
Yeah.
So I believe starting off your GI Bill should be for 4 years. It should be for 4 years.
4 years.
You know what I mean? But hey, that's a whole nother topic.
Now that is our opinion on it. But I see him struggle because there is a what is it? PhD in disaster. And I'm like,
Oklahoma State University. I'm trying to get to the PhD program, but I ran out of my GI Bill. So
my man needs to be a doctor in disaster. But I don't necessarily, I don't know if I agree with the allocation of the GI Bill. If you've got Chapter 35, it's hard. It's hard because I see you struggle. My man loves education. I love education. That's what we really agree on.
Yep.
And I hate that you can't do that. So any Congress women out there,
check us out.
Education. How we're gonna get to the revolutions. That's education.
Right. Viva la revolution. But
ooh,
I did that. I probably didn't do that right. But
I don't care. It sounded good.
But anyway, that's our segment on.
That's it. That's our rant.
Educate. That's our rant. It was a long rant, but hey, at the bottom line, at the end of the day, look, education.
Educate
you will need some form of it.
Watch the news.
Degree, trade, or just knowledge in itself. Make sure you get it. You guys make sure you be on the lookout for these DM1 podcast stickers. You guys know where to find us. If you have not already, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube,
share us with your friends.
Share us with your friends. DMYpodcast@gmail.com. You guys know you can find us on all the streaming services. As usual, Doge and AMC to the moon. And our new baby right here is Sheba Army. You guys get up on it. We are part of the Sheba Army. And we are part of the Sheba Revolution. So signing off for DM Watch, I am Davie.
I'm Misty.
And we are DM Watch. Everyone, please take care of each other. Peace, love, and hair grease. And of course, parallel. That's for our sister.